Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's go to the North Gauteng High Court in the Senzo Meyiwa analyzing trial where, before I forget, let me start here. I think there's one AVL that was forgotten to be ordered from the state. That is the AVL of Zungu when he was escorted to KwaZulu-Natal to go fetch his handwritten statement on this matter when he saw these guys in Fosloras discussing after the unaliving of Senzo Meyiwa, and he put two and two together. And then when he approached the general, he had written down his statement, and so that statement was requested. And then the judge was like, well, because we need to protect his life, this is a high-profile case, he needs to be escorted to KwaZulu-Natal. It was on a Friday when that order was made. Can't remember which month it was. Could be August, July, somewhere there. And then they went. Then we made speculations. It's like, come Monday, this whole statement is not going to be there. But now we did not see Judge Rata having a pre-written judgment. How would he have known that the statement, Zungu did not have it? Because apparently when Zungu got to KwaZulu-Natal, his sister or aunt or somebody had cleaned his room, like did a spring cleaning, threw away all what they considered or deemed to be rubbish away, and therefore he came back and said, I don't have the statement, and Rata dropped almost an hour long judgment where he was drinking water like nobody's business. You remember that judgment? Yep. That's the one. So the AVL of those motor vehicles or vehicle that accompanied Zungu to KwaZulu-Natal, it's needed. We want to see if indeed they did travel to KwaZulu-Natal on that very date and the return date and what time they got to Zungu's home and what time they got back to Pretoria. All right? That AVL needs to be requested because it's also central to Zungu's story. All right, it's very central. Now let's come back to what happened in court today. I wish this court will start on time, at least 10 minutes late, just 10 minutes late, but that's besides the point. So I wanted to create a video yesterday. In fact, I had created a video yesterday, but my microphone had this friction sound that was just horrible. You guys wouldn't have heard. So I was like, starting it all over again while I'm doing other things at the same time, going through other stuff. I'm just going to just leave it alone. And I wanted to say, when Baloy comes back with the report of those orders that Judge Rata had thrown at him, we are not going to hear that the AVLs were found on all the vehicles. Maybe the only vehicle that, because they show of the Fortuner that there was an AVL there. Everything else, I don't think that the Ekurhuleni Metro Police will have AVLs, but they'll come up with a convenient story so that the court can accept that convenience. You know, because at the end of the day, if Ekurhuleni storeroom manager cannot find this, then what should we do? Type of situation. And so that forces the judge to accept that affidavit. And secondly, this is exposing a lot of incompetence in the state entities. Number one, it's showing the type of people you are hiring. That these are not the qualified people to be doing this sort of job. You need to... people go to school for archiving, for record keeping. But it's not the people who are hired in these departments that actually went to school, got a diploma or a degree. I remember, I think it was TUT, back in the early 2000s, they had a course on archiving. There used to be, if I remember, paralegals. I don't even know if they still have paralegal courses there. And they used to have archiving courses. And people, if let's say the university no longer, I mean, it was full, all the courses were full. There were always these alternative courses that nobody does, like paralegal, archiving, sometimes even criminology back in the day. And they'll say, okay, we would rather put you here for the year while you apply for what you want to study for the following. That means you're going to start first year again, but you'll be credited for those courses and stuff. So there are people who took up those courses and went all the way through. Why they are not hired? Why you are hiring whoever it is that you are hiring? I mean, we know some of the hiring in municipalities. You need to be on your back. If you're not on your back, you're on your all fours to get a job. And then this is the result. People cannot find because an archivist will know that, okay, everything is going to be in chronological order. I know when I go to this year, at this time, I'm going to find that record. Not that I looked everywhere. What kind of an archivist are you who looks everywhere? It's an expose that there is a lot of incompetence that is going on. And furthermore, I agree very fully with Mr. Mnisi and Mr. Ramusipili that this affidavit that we got this morning in the report was more like, leave me alone, here, take this. Because they knew that some of the, I didn't know that, this is what I am learning now, that Ekurhuleni leases their vehicles. They might mark them or unmark them, but they are leased. Again, this is the whole tender thing. And you are telling me you as Ekurhuleni Metro Police, you keep those records when you know very well that those records will be kept by the owners of the vehicles. So this whole thing was just, indeed, I agree, was to leave me alone. We did what the court ordered, but they did not dig deeper. They did not go to the owners and say, give us the AVLs. Whatever dispute that might have happened, we don't care about that. What we care about is the evidence that was brought in court regarding accused number one. And accused number one's case will be defended or proven beyond a reasonable doubt by the state through those AVLs. So now what do we do? What do we do without this evidence? Because it is central, as Mr. Mnisi says. And again, cameras in storerooms or archives or whatever it is that they call them. Isn't there... Anyways, there's a lot going on here, guys. I have things in my head, but I don't want to say them just yet. I want to keep that probably to the next video. What is in my head that I'm just withholding right now, because this is cooking went wrong. This is cooking went wrong. We have a team of investigators that want to pin the Senzo Meyiwa unaliving on 5 innocent people, dare I say it. And then they are avoiding the people who are eyewitnesses that saw everything. They know who pulled the trigger. They know who pulled the trigger. But no, let's not deal with them. Let's take these people. Anyways, I just want to say what I needed to say regarding what I observed in court today, that we are still being played here. We are still being played, and Mr. Baloy is avoiding Section 167, basically to dissolve this whole thing. He doesn't have a case. He's avoiding it with everything that he's got in his body. Is it 176 or the one where you, when there's no case, you basically withdraw? Because this is what he's supposed to have done a long time ago. But that AVL Zungu from Pretoria to KwaZulu-Natal, accompanied by the police, because something might happen to him. He needs to be escorted. Those AVLs needs to be requested. We want to see something. We want to see something. Anyways, guys, before they come back from short adjournment, let me leave it right here. Let me know what your thoughts are. And those of you who say that I'm analyzing, no, I'm making commentary. Commentary, an opinion. If you want analytics of the matter, watch experts do it. I'm not an expert. I just happen to have 2 IQs. They rub each other together, and then they were like, does this make sense? So if you're going to call it the analysis from me, then that is on you, not on me. All right, let's leave it right there. Please do not leave without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you once they are done with this segment before long adjournment. And I'll see you next time. Bye.